it's a little late today, but yeah, I just quickly give you guys some updates. What's going on with the GME, and also what are we expecting for next week? Um, I think we are almost right there, right before a rally, because I did mention that March is going to be a time for rally. I think I already mentioned it like since January, since I found the fractals that I mean this fractal that might repeat itself. So yeah, let's begin. So I want to start with this one. I've been getting a lot of this one got almost a 70K. So I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I was expecting a Roaring Kitty tweet, which was on Wednesday. I think it was 19, right? I do, yeah, Wednesday. So I do see that the GME kind of did a second wave here, which what you saw there, and then I do expect some sort of because I know this is kind of tracking this one, and it seems like a signal to me. So I thought maybe maybe arcade tweak, because it's quite different than last year May, because last year May arcade tweet happened and the gap up squeeze, but instead this year whenever he tweet there was a gap up, but it's not heading into a squeeze, but instead it just create a some sort of a pop and then come back down and fill that kind of gap. So I think this time I think it will be a different. I'm curious how they're gonna run this thing, but there might be some big things gonna happen. But what I was expecting, a gap up and then does do a third wave, like third dumping wave, and then push back down to fill the gap, and then after that a star rally, but instead they just run it, right? So this happened when was it, like yeah, yesterday. And then this thing just rallied, right? This thing just popped, right? Without any tweets or any news, it just popped. So I was wondering, like, oh, that's interesting. So and then I did an update on this one. So when you look at the last year May, this is like a May 1st or May 2nd, like before the a rally, before, like before the squeeze, and there's a rally, right? So heading in before rally, it kind of creates some weird type of shapes, go up and down 3 times before rally. So I thought that's very interesting, as somebody that I'm a designer, so I look at this as oh, that's very interesting pattern here. So if you were to create a pattern or some sort of a algo fractals, that's kind of a very unique pattern to me, because it's like a signal. It just go up and down 3 times. I mean, it's very I don't know. It seems like a signal to me. So and then that kind of also remind me of Roaring Kui tweets with the Dune, the warm, what do you call that, the like a thumping wave or something like this one. So this really reminds me of this one, right? So he put that into the sand, and then this thing just kind of go up and down, right? And then call out the giant worm. So it to me it's yeah, it looks like it looks like this kind of stuff, right? So it's go up and down, and then big rally happens. So to me it's very distinctive signal, or distinctive shape, when I just look at that as a shape, right? Instead of looking at a candle. So so I think that's a signal there, and I think we're I was just waiting for the third signal, and I think the third signal just happened yesterday. So and we had a pullback, right, which is good, right? I mean, yeah, that's what it finished off with a third pullback, right? 1, 2, 3, and then rally kick off, right? And then when you look at the RSI, When you just look at the RSI here, I did point out that when this thing kind of going to the towards the bottoming phase, it making a same kind of thing, and then once this thing start to breaking out, same thing happen, pullback happen, pullback, the second thumping wave, pullback, and then the third wave is now here, right? So I don't know, I gotta take a look at this one, because that's why I was taking a look at this one for a little bit. But so 1 2 3, right? So we had that 3 and then pull back, right? And then we have to go a little bit of a sideways before this thing kick off. Okay, so I don't think Monday is the day, but it will be more likely after Tuesday. So let's take a look at this one. Even this guy, he usually talks shit about GME about a thing, but he said it's gonna be very interesting next week for GME, right? So but I know which direction. He's just not sure, right? So let's see. And then the Cash Patel is finally confirmed, as you guys all know. I think that's very good news. So things are lining up. The OTC derivatives, this is very interesting, I think topic here. Goldman Sachs leveraging almost 101x, and I'm curious if BBY come back in OTC. I think something's gonna be really crazy shit's gonna happen. The interesting thing is the export market, right? So there's a OTC, and after that BBYQ, before delisting, they went to export market, and the export market has a lower liquidity, I think. But the thing is, there's only like a few institutions can trade, right? So it was like there was a Citadel, there was like a Virtue, and there's like a State or something. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4. And then, but yeah, I think another interesting thing is the export market was only created like 2021 or something, after GME AMC like squeeze, right? Like mean basket stock squeeze, and the export market created, and this thing happened. I don't know. Whole thing is really interesting. I don't know. Yeah. But and I'm gonna touch on the DJT after this. But let me just show you guys a little bit more closely on the GME, right? What are we expecting here, right? I think things gonna get interesting next week for sure. The question is when, right? I think that's an important question. So the one thing I find interesting was this one. So this is like a more bigger fractal here, okay? Many people don't believe in fractals, but let me show you something here. Not this one. Maybe I'll show you with this one. Maybe this is 20 minutes, so it's easier for me to maybe bring whole thing here. I don't know. Sometimes I gotta fuck. So I want to show you interesting thing here, okay? May 13. Okay, let me see. Let me see if this okay, I think I can bring this one here. So I'll show you a very interesting thing, and I think this is something that I found January, as I was tracking both 2020 cycles and 2024 cycles when RK got in, and I was kind of asking myself, why the fuck RK got in, right? Why Roaring Kitty gets in here? And I think that's something that's a critical question that we want to ask, right? Why? And I think the reason why I figure out is that my personal opinion is that because after March rally happened, after March earning, there was even 2020 there was a pullback, right? And then after that, this entering to another kind of short-term rally phase, right? And then this whole thing happened, pullback, and then Ryan Quinn announced his first stake 9.6%, and then this thing started to kick off a rally, right? And then another a stake in December 21st, kick off another rally, heading into a squeeze. So I think a lot of not a lot, sorry. This buy-in is extremely strategic. Like he understand, I think, when is the right time. Like even when he announced his stake, it's like this is like right before, like this is like the wedge, right? This is like final kind of wedge where this thing has to show the direction, either go up and down. But he announced that stake and then just like fucking bust this up, right? So I think that's why I was tracking 2020, because the same thing happened here. March earning, sharp drop, testing the bottom of 2021 February. That's the bottom, and so we retest that thing, and then Roaring Kitty got in and create this whole fractal. And I asked myself, why he gets in here. And then I think there's a reason why he gets in there. And also another thing that I was tracking was DJT. I wasn't playing DJT, but I was just tracking because I was just curious. So I asked myself, okay, why? I realized DJT also going through some sort of a repeat of a cycle, right? So there's like a 2023. There's a pop, pullback, and gap up, squeeze, right? And then there was like a whole giant like pullback stuff. And I realized after this huge pullback, I realized they're mimicking. Not mimicking. They're just like looping same fractal here, right? So in this blue box face, it's right there, right? I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but you know what I mean. So it's, hold on. How do I show it? Oh fuck. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this one. Yeah. Okay. So I realize they're some sort of a, I don't know if they're who's creating these fractals, but so you see, they're repeating a same cycle here in DJT. After that, they repeat this cycle, which is the pullback phase after the gap up squeeze. So when you look at this whole pullback cycle, it's all looking like fucking same thing, right? So I realized, okay, hold on. What if this year? What if I always have that kind of question in my head? What if this time they're gonna repeat the same cycle, right? They just rinse and repeat for certain stocks. And what if GME is also like DJT, repeating cycle? And then DJT was supposed, the fractal ends here, but they tank it even more, right, before the election, right? So there was more shorting happening. So, and after that, what happened? It's same thing, right? It's repeating a same a cycle here, which is now this one, right? So after this phase, the pullback phase is now this one, right? Because it's or you could actually put this one here, but I don't think they're using this one. But you know what I mean? Yeah, they're just repeating the same kind of fractals here, but they're repeating this one, I think, in my opinion, right? So after the pullback, now they're using the this pattern, but it's much more amplified. I don't know. Yeah. So you know what I mean? It's like that. And I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna run this thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like this is just kind of what I see there, right? So okay, so it's very interesting how DJT is repeating the cycle, and then I do see that possibly in GME, right? So yeah, DJT is also finishing off the, I think there will be one more pop and one more pullback in my opinion, and then I think gap up squeeze happens. So but I think GameStop also it's the same thing. So I asked myself, what if a GME is also repeating a same cycle when Roaring Kitty from the fractals that RK got in, right? And I don't think it's the only Roaring Kitty who create the fractals. This is more like, and if you also add this here, 2020, how this thing squeeze happened, it actually match, like here, you know. I think GameStop has its own distinguish. Oh fuck. It has its own pattern here. Where's my fractal? Okay, so GME has its own fractal that before squeeze, like before this final squeeze phase, I break it down to those three phase, right? So first one is some sort of a go up and pull back phase. I don't know what it's called. I just call like just A phase, and after that rally, and then some sort of a second like some sort of like a staircase, right? So before heading to squeeze. So when you actually bring this chart into 2021 squeeze, it actually match, right? Which means that because that current environment has a low liquidity, right? So why the hell there's like two things here? So oh, you know what? I'll just keep this in just in case. I don't know why I have it here. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that because the environment is like what do you call that? Like the liquidity is like low compared to 2020. Like Fed is like at the time printing a lot of money, but now it's like opposite. So okay, I mean they want to run this thing, but maybe they need more time, you know. Maybe they need more time to yeah, accumulate the shares or whatever, right? So you're seeing that all that from institutions, and then accumulation happening. So that's kind of what my my thought process was, you know. Okay, maybe if that happened, I want to see if my fractal works, right? So yeah, I try to, you know, add some, you know, calls, puts, just to test my fractals. And if my fractal is wrong, I'll get, you know, my call puts are just gone. But actually I was gaining, right? So I was posting that kind of gain. Hey, you know, hey, fractal is actually working here. So so you see there's like a accumulation phase happen, and a very interesting, you know, it's very much amplified. But you see this area, this small go ups and down shit, that's right here. You see that? And you like you know, you might say like, oh, that, I mean, it looks the same, but how come they expanded so much? I don't know. Like I said, you know, it's just really they need more time. And then there was a pullback happen here once, you know. I mean, there's a small pullback here too, but when you're trying to figure out that where was that a sharp pullback, and it was here, and that's what I kind of clicked my head. Okay, so I remember there was a sharp pullback there, and also there was a pullback here, right? So it actually hits perfectly, hit 1 2 3. Now we are we're about to experience that shit. That's not shit. Sorry, we're about to experience the a crazy rally here. Retest possibly June or July. So sorry, it's May or June. This area. And I don't think they're gonna break this thing right away, right? Because they need more time. So they're gonna try to, you know, retest this area. Yeah, retest this. What price is this one? This is like 70 or 60 something. Yeah, this 60 and 70 range, they're gonna retest this one. And the reason I say that is because one second. What is a good color that doesn't hurt eyes, but also it will be a good color to indicate that level, resistance level, right? Yeah, resistance level. Maybe this one. Yeah, maybe I'll just do like that, just in case, just for now. So yeah, that's the May and June high, right? And I think we're gonna go somewhere there, right? They're gonna retest, right? Because you remember I told you about how they retest this level, the bottom in April. They retest this level here because they want to retest the 2020 February, right? So I realized that, right? So they like to retest things, you see? This is Feb low. You see that? So that's February low, and then they exactly retest this one in April, right? So if you're looking at this way, they're gonna retest this level again, right? Before they're gonna start to breaking out into a giant squeeze phase, right? So that's just kind of what I'm looking at. So I think we have a March earning, right? What is a March earning? Is it like I'm not sure if this is confirmed, but right now on TradingView said the estimate earning is March 26, right? So the OPEX calendar, let's take a look at the OPEX calendar. And then is it the OPEX? So let's take a look at the OPEX calendar, and then the March OPEX is 21st, which means that if you are market maker, okay, what I'm trying to say is the OPEX week is the 21st, so that's when the heavy options are, right? If you pass these things, and then if you, let's say, if the market maker let the price move up after this giant option expiration day, which is March 21st, then you're gonna see a crazy squeeze. But I don't think that's not gonna happen, right? Because they need more time. So so let's say, okay, so let me explain. So when you look at 2021, for instance, so this is Jan, right? So January OPEX was Jan 17. So it passed Jan 17. Oh, was it Jan 15? All right, maybe Jan 15. So that was the 2021 OPEX calendar. Let me pull this up, okay? Just trying to be accurate here. So 2021 Jan 15 was the OPEX rate, right? Large option exchange. So yeah, they dropped a little bit, but still it was above maybe this range, and then this thing heading into a gamma squeeze, right? So after that, right? So and then when you compare to the chart in terms of the fractals, we are like right here or something. You know what I mean? We are like here or something. Yeah, you see how this thing, like, yeah, hold on 1 second. Yeah, so I think there's gonna be a pullback, maybe a little bit, maybe Monday, and then maybe Tuesday is the one maybe we're gonna see a run, in my opinion. So but yeah, we're gonna see the rally here, but I think it will be more likely Tuesday, and then retest this thing, and then before the OPEX week, the OPEX week is 21st on Friday, March 21st, and based on the fractals and the size, as I have it here, just rough estimate, it will have a rally before March 21st. Okay, so in my opinion, so they're gonna run this thing before OPEX week. okay, like which what happened in May too, right? You guys remember that? I've seen some posts that Roaring Kitty tweet, and then this thing squeezed, but people say, oh, RC killed this thing, right? But I think they're just making a fractals, right? It's just mimicking the same fractals, interestingly, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here, right? So the reason I say that is because I was looking at this one, as I mentioned, March earning, right? Same March earning, sharp drop. They create this fractal, right? So they want to make a giant squeeze. That's why Ryan Quinn, he dilute shares for GME, for potential merger acquisitions or acquisitions, whatever. For him, it's a very strategic move, because he could create a massive run when the time comes. And I was seeing that, right? So I was like, okay, so that was a March earning. Hold on one second. So the March earning was here. One second. Oh, I think I copied not the so. Was it this fractals? Okay, maybe this fractals. Maybe I copied too many. Fuck. Yeah, one second, guys. I think I copied too many. So I'm just copy here. I want to copy this area. So the March earnings here, 2020 sharp drop and pullback and heading to a squeeze, right? So yeah, that's what I was expecting here. So it's when you actually have it here, March earnings, here there was a pullback, and then after that there was a run, and then this one was more amplified because of the Roaring Kitty come back, create a whole fractals. And after that they did RC dilute because it's not time for a rally yet. They need to they want to run this thing bigger later on, right? So when you look at this March earnings, sharp drop, go up, come down, do this thing, and then go sideways for a bit, and then slowly go up, right? So I think that's what I think RC was creating, just kind of going through these whole cycles, and then run this thing. So I think it's very strategic move here, and then I think this year is the clean out operation. So that that's why you're seeing the Cash Patel got in here, all that kind of crazy stuff. So they're gonna wipe out the not wipe out, but they're gonna clean up. They're gonna do a clean up operation for the Wall Street, how they has been kind of their corruptions, or what they've been kind of doing for so many years. So I think this year is the year. That's how I see. So yeah, let's see how that how it plays out next week. Also, one last thing before I move on to DJT and AMC is that when you look at this fractal here, this is what they made for the first dumping wave. When you actually brought it here, where was here? I think it was this one. Yeah, when I actually brought this one here, it somehow matched with how how it move up and then create a double top and then pull back and then and then finish off here. So I don't know if they want to kick off here, because if they want to start run this thing based on this fractal, it could start on Monday, probably around 2 o'clock. If not, then it will more likely happen maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that, after Monday, after Monday market close. So it's really between Monday after market close or Monday 2 p.m., right? Between Monday 2 p.m. or maybe Monday market close, like Tuesday or Wednesday. That's how I see. Okay. And then I think that's pretty much it, guys, for GME. I think, I don't know. did I cover RSI? I don't know if I cover RSI. I forgot. I was just talking too many other topics here, but yeah, let's talk about RSI just 1 second here. So I took a look at RSI. So as I mentioned, my belief is that they're repeating the same the April sorry, it's the same May run. So this is 20 minutes. I'm looking at this in 20 minutes because the time frame at the time, the algo was very fast, right? The speed of algo, right? It was extremely fast compared to now. So I'm looking at this much more. The current time is much more a longer time frame, like maybe 8 hours or 6 hours. And when you look at it, it kind of matches, right? So so there was a pullback happened here. Same thing, pullback happened here. And then after that, this thing started breaking out of it, right, within this wedge, and then create a 3 1 2 3 dumping wave, 1 2 3, and yeah, we are acting very close. So that's the RSI. Our RSI is also showing that, right? And the MACD, yeah, I mean I check both RSI and MACD just to see how things going. So MACD is showing a kind of similar thing as well. After, when you look at the MACD here, this is the top here, April 26th last year, and then the top here. No, this is not top. Yeah, I think top here is maybe somewhere here, but I don't know why it's like showing this way. It's a little weird, but anyway, yeah. So MACD line was here. When you bring this thing up, it kind of creating a wedge from the bottom. Even this one, yeah, there was like a giant red candle. Same thing happened, giant candle, red candle, pull back, and then slowly narrowing it down, right, making a triangle formation. And then now we are kind of seeing a very much similar repetition here. So after this thing hit the bottom, which also what happened here, first pop, second pop. Now I think this is a tiny third pop here, right? And then I put arrows on this the thumping wave here. So if we're kind of mimicking the same scenario, how it's gonna play out here, I think we might see some sort of a 1 second. Yeah, we might see some sort of a I don't know, 1 second. So 1 2. Yeah, I think we are here. I was trying to figure out the whether we are here or here, because you see there's a long signal up here, and this is the 20 minutes. And then when I track back and see if I could find the long signal, because it's in 6 hours, I don't find that yet. And I moved to you know what? Let's put 5 hours. Just 1 second. Let's see if I add up 5 hours, and then what the hell? 6 hours. Wait, how do I? Oh, whatever. Okay. So let's see. Oh yeah, they have a 5 hours. Yeah, there's a. Okay, so when I see yeah, 5 or 6 hours or 4 hours, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, 4 or 5 is the same thing. There's a long signal appear here and short signal appear here. But when you see this long signal appear here, that's when that's the after this completion of the second dumping wave, right? And then which is here, and there was more sharper drop. And I think we might be like, there was like a sharper drop here, so I think we were here. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but I think they're trying to they're using this fractal here, the small one here. You see this small one, this one. So push up, this one. I think they did here. And then they go up, down, go up, down. And I'm curious if they're gonna do a one more pop here. There's one more pop and pull back. So yeah, it's gonna be it's either they're gonna do a one more pop, or they're just gonna have some pullback, a little bit of more pullback Monday, just a little bit, and then go sideways a little bit, and then start to rally. So I think we are extremely close. So the signs will be showing next week, I think. So yeah, hope this helps for GME folks. And I might be posting this one. I'm gonna try to organize these things, and then I'll clean up some of the charts, and then I'll post this one on my Twitter X. But yeah, hope this helps. And then yeah, let's look at DJT. So DJT went down a little more, but I don't think it was just really just doing I think repeating another cycle of this one here. So I'll show you here, 1 second. Let me just clean up the chart. So we are pretty much, like I said, repeating a same cycle here, right? So I think hold on 1 second. Let me yeah, so we are repeating the same cycle, in my opinion, for DJT. So this was a rally happened there, and then after that we see this another run, another upside and pullback. There's and then we hit D. Now we're coming down here, but now we gotta look at the speed of algo now, right? Because in certain area, yeah, it's fast, but certain area is very slow, and I think those are the there's some area that we have to watch out for, because some area they extended, they drag more time, right? So I think that's kind of where we at. I don't think we're gonna see I don't know if we see a rally here, but maybe it's possible. I don't know, but yeah. So let's say if we are doing this one, and then maybe DJT also gap up squeeze at same time. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out to see if that's the case. But I think there's a more possibility that maybe maybe they want to do a one more repeating of this cycle here. The reason I say that is because this is a D phase, and I might be wrong. So this is the fractal from D phase, right? So you see, after there's a pullback, I brought this chart, right? So there was like a go up, down, go up and down. There's pullback, and then there's a pop here, right? There's one more pop. Before this, and then after that there's one more pullback, and then entering a gap up squeeze phase. So that's kind of what I was expecting here. And then when you look at more closely, the interesting I found is that 1 second. Yeah, this phase. So I brought this fractals here, and I think because I see it could repeat the same fractals here, so we might see this thing pop here Tuesday, I think. So I think same time when GME run, right? And maybe DJT will move together. So I think something's gonna happen next week, guys. I don't know. Yeah, like the market is like, yeah, it has some sort of it could have some catalyst, like catalytic events. And then also the reason I see this way is because I compared the chart between 2024 January here, before the gap up squeeze happened. You see how RSI's 1 second. So this is 2 hour. So this is so on the right side is the 30-minute because the algo was fast. Right now it's slow. So I look at this one in more 6 hours, like how I look at GME. And so this is D. So this A hit the pick, pull back, B, C, D, right? So I check all those things here, hit E, and then after this thing hit E, RSI hits here, right? And then push up, pull back down, push up, pull back down, right? So you see the same pattern here. So that's why I think we just saw this one here. Okay, now we need to see this pop, one more pullback. So now you kind of see it, right? With the RSI, you can see it. So yeah, I think DJT will repeat just one more pattern before heading to a gap up squeeze. So yeah, I'll wait for this pop and maybe sell my calls, and then wait for this bottom. I don't know, I'm a little bit afraid of getting in put options here, because anything could happen, right? Because now Cash Patel, he's now the director of FPBI. He could announce any times of the news or any of the file, the what do you call that, the Epstein files that he could announce anytime. So I think it's going to be hard to predict, right? So if that's announced, maybe they'll also move the DJT, who knows, right? So I'm not gonna do a put options or whatever, play with the DJT, but I'm just waiting for that kind of things play out. I have a call for like March 21st, but when this thing pop next week, I'm gonna sell, and then I'll wait for this thing have a much more pullback, and then maybe enter around March 18. I think that's when the bottom's gonna maybe happen, and then and that's when also GameStop rally happens. So I think they want to run GME first, and then after that they want to run DJT. It's like a step by step. I don't think they're gonna pop everything up, like what happened in 2021 January, right? So they're gonna run this thing here, maybe after that they're gonna run this other stock here. Another interesting that you want to see is AMC here. Now I'm going to move to AMC because I've been tracking AMC as well, as you guys know. I had a good profits in here when this squeeze happened, and I think this time of the day is coming in June, in my opinion. So and there will be a potential dilutions around April, so just watch out for that. Yeah, that's how I think AMC plays this. And like I said, this fractal is actually repeating the same fractals of 2020. You're not gonna believe, but this when I track this whole fractals of the market crash, not market crash, the COVID crash, this thing, the way it hits, 1 second, I'll show you here. I'm gonna just so the way this thing hit a little bit, a push up, pull back down, right, at one time, right, and then pop happen, push back down, another pop, all this kind of weird zigzag patterns, and it's just using the staircase to pull the stock down. This whole fractals was used after ape conversion. You see, before the price, before this crazy crash, or whatever you want to call this one, pullback. There's a push up with a judge adjourn, push down. So in a bigger picture, it's like here, right? So push up, push down, push up, push down. But in a much more longer time frame, and push up, push down, right? So it's using a same kind of fractals, but it's more like a stretched out version. You know what I mean? Right? Push up, push down, push up, push down. So they did 1, 2, 3. They do 3 times, right? Push up 1, 2, 3. Oh, 4 actually. Sorry, it's a 4. And this is crazy, man. So they do that. Same thing happened here. Up 1, 2, 3. Oh shit, that's weird. 1, maybe this one. 1, 2, like that or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like whatever. Like, so that was this one in my opinion, right? Because when you look at a bigger picture, yeah. So that's this one. So it was a lot slower in this phase, and after that they entered this April phase, which was they do a double top or something, and then they do a gap up pop, right? Anyway, so they do all kind of weird shit, right? So when I go back and brought the fractals, it kind of mimicking similar fractals here. So after this pullback, I'll just drag out onto here, just to show you guys the bigger picture. So so this is the fractal from 2020. So basically they're gonna repeat the same cycle here. So after they hit the bottom, right, they do like a, I don't know what you call this one, but yeah, they do like go up and down like twice, and then gap up squeeze, right? And then that fractal was used here as well, right? I don't know if you can see the color. Maybe I'll just brighten it up a little bit. Maybe change the color like that. Yeah, you see that? Very interesting, isn't it? But this one is more amplified when RK kind of step in, right? And then tweet happened, and then gap up squeeze. And what happened after that? There's a pullback, right? And then they do go up and down, but it kind of matches, it matching all the similar fractals, right? So when you look at a bigger picture, you go up, there's go down. So it's very, yeah, you gotta figure out all this whole details about how this thing go up and down. So there's a go, like it's like a hill, right? So making a hill, go up, down smoothly, and after that you go up again, and then there's like a dilution, right? And then Adam Aaron announced the dilution when this thing supposed to go down. So that's why I mentioned that potential dilution might be here, because we could see here, we could see another pullback, and then this gap here at $3 and $2.90, it's not 100% filled. So I think that that's why there was an offering here. I think there's gonna be one more offering here around April 8th or April 9th or something, somewhere in early April or something, and then hit the all-time, not all-time bottom, but hit one more bottom by May, and fill this $3 or $2.90 gap here completely, and then entering a January squeeze phase. So you see how the market makers manipulate the price, especially AMC. But when the squeeze gonna happen here, I mean when we are entering into the squeeze phase, I think AMC is gonna be very explosive, like how you see in May. Everyone maybe might be surprised about by the May squeeze, right? Based on my calculation, it's about 10 times the price. When you so the reason the reason I kind of come up that price is because I might be completely wrong because this is my speculation, but you remember I show you this fractals from I brought it from 2020, right? That matches exactly the same thing. So the way the reason I come up with that number was when I brought this fractals and try to fit this the size of the chart roughly, right? Just roughly, and then you have it here, and then when in 2020 there was a little bit of a small gap up. I mean, I don't know if you even call this as a gap up, but when you measure it, it show you 26%, right? Based on this chart. So size when you size it up to fit in fit to this the candles here, it says 26%, but instead it went up 260%. So you see that number? It's 10 times. So which means that when the squeeze happen, it will explode 10 times exactly. Isn't that weird? So now you see the fractal here. So when you let's I'm just gonna just push this back a little bit so you guys can see this one, just entire fractals. So now you come back here in June phase and you measure this one from the bottom to the top. It says 128%, right? And if you add 10 times, that will give you roughly like here 100. That's like $40. And you see there's a gap here. You see, I left the gap, but there's a gap here, $40. So which means that in June, when the GameStop, when squeeze when AMC squeeze with GME, all that stuff, AMC will hit 40 or something like that as a minimum price, in my opinion, or it could be maximum. I don't know. But you see the number I'm trying to get here. This thing will pop, and then people be like, "What the fuck," right? People. I think media will talk about this one, and media be like, "Oh wow, AMC squeeze again." Oh, look at this retail, all that kind of weird nonsense. But I know, and some of you guys already know that this is how the market makers manipulate the markets, right? They suppress as much as they can, but when the time comes, right, especially when the cycle comes, or as a technically, if you're looking at this technically, or also politically too, right? So Donald Trump, DJT, the Cash Patel, the setup is clearly there. So politically they're suppressing them, right? They're suppressing the show seller, the market makers, or the hedge fund, or whatever, whoever behind the naked short selling, the criminal activities. But when you that's how you observe it politically, but also when you observe technically, you probably see what I see here. So that's why I live in Canada, so there's a lot of Canadian business owners. They're getting damaged quite a lot, and I don't think it's only the Canada, it's worldwide. And they start blaming Trump, right? Oh, Trump doing this to Canada, right? They're smashing tariff, for aluminum, or all this kind of crazy steels or whatever. And the Canadian industry has been pretty bad, right, for the last 2-3 years. and especially now the aluminum and steels industry, they get hit almost $1 billion loss, right? There's I think 20-30% reduction in the employees, and employers are also losing their deals, and so yeah, it's like, yeah, they don't like this kind of situation. But I look at this more like a bigger picture. So Trump is doing that for a reason, right? Like he understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure he worked with a team, and they understand the big tech stock, crypto, especially the Bitcoin. They're in a, it's very weird situation in my opinion, but they're heading into a crash. But the basket stocks such as GME, AMC, things like that, they're heading into a squeeze phase. It's really weird, right? Because in 2020, it was everything just rally, right? Even grandma buy the stock, even grandma buy a stock. Everyone talks about stocks and cryptos, and everyone makes money, right? But now the time is very different, So I think this year is the year that we've been kind of waiting for. Even the Lou versus Wall Street, I've been kind of watching out, when he started his channels. After a few months later, the way he talks about is that, oh, there will be a controlled demolition, or there will be a controlled squeeze and things like that. He was dropping words that people don't really talk about. While some people might, in some community they said, oh, this will go into 1,000 whatever, but he said like there will be controlled demolition. And I think I think now we arrive in that year of controlled demolition is going to happen this year, because the S&P, not S&P, sorry, the Bitcoin now start to crash. I mean, you don't see it now, but you'll see in March. Okay. So you remember? Okay. So the reason I say that that's possible is, first of all, when you look at 2021, right? So I actually talking about this with my good friend of mine, my high school buddy, and then I told him Bitcoin crash. I mean, there was a pullback, or you could say crash, in 2021 January, right? And he asked me why. Is there any correlation, right, with meme basket with Bitcoin? And I said that's a good question, and people don't really ask that question. Unless you play meme basket stock. But yeah, so that's interesting, I think there's a correlation, right? So when GME AMC squeeze, or whole basket stock squeeze, a Bitcoin crash about almost 26.7%, and I think that, and then with that knowledge of what happened, I think the hedge fund or market maker, maybe they use Bitcoin, right? And they need they need to sell their assets or whatever, liquidate assets, and maybe they have to use that to cover their short positions or something. Like, I think there's something going on, right? And now we are here, and I think we are going for another 4 years of cycles. This is what happened 2017. They pump it up, they pump the liquidity, whatever, and then there was like a pullback. Now they're, and after that, this is 2021. So there's like a 4 years, right? Now this is 2025. It's a little bit faster. I think the algo is a lot faster. And I've been talking about the RSI divergence, right? The way I find out that the Bitcoin crash could happen is because the RSI divergence are actually showing clearly. Because when you compare to 2021. This is when the meme basket stock squeeze, and that's when Bitcoin RSI was all-time high. And the price, after this pullback, the price went up all-time high, but the weird thing is the RSI was a lot lower than this area, which means that it's losing the strength. And after that, boom, crash. Okay, you see that? So same thing The all-time high happened here last year in Feb or March, and pullback happened, which is kind of similar to this area, right? When I actually circle this area, I'm gonna maybe change the color. Oh shit. Oh shit. 1 second. So this one, this area is kind of same, right? Let me change the color to maybe red. And after that, after pullback, push up one more and hit all-time high, push back one more, hit all-time high. It's the same scenario here. Okay? And then, but the thing is, like I said, it's losing the strength, right? But the price is up. This is a RSI divergence, right? And this is pullback, right? So now you're gonna see this type of not squeeze, this kind of crash. You know what I mean? So that's why I see the Bitcoin will crash, right? And then same thing as Nvidia, right? I call Nvidia crash in December. And I said, "Oh, you're fucking nonsense, and you're stupid or something." I talked about this one last year, 2024 for December 18 before Christmas. I said, no wonder Nvidia crash from Feb and April, right? And then yeah, the month is exactly right. I mean, we haven't entered the April yet, but we saw there was a DeepSeek event happen, right? The Chinese AI shit. I think that's a bullshit to me, because when you, let's say, imagine you're market makers, right? Let's say you're running the markets. You can't just rug pull the liquidity from the company, right? So they need some sort of event or some sort of I don't know, some stuff, and that stuff is DeepSeek, right? So they brought the some events. They let the media talk about it. Bring out some fears and just rug pull them. That's how I see it, right? So they need some events, boom, bring that events and then just rug pull it. So that's and then in terms of the Nvidia, it's the same thing. Nvidia is also showing RSI divergence as well. So that's why I talk about it. So like I said in Bitcoin, RSI divergence are actually showing very clearly in Nvidia as well. This is a .com bubble, right? They do a one wave, a second wave, third wave, crash. RSI was all-time high here, right? Highest high here. There was a pullback. Go up again. The price is all-time high, but RSI is lower, right? And then go up again, but RSI is still lower than this one, although the price is higher than this one. That's RSI divergence and crash. Boom, that's .com bubble. Let's go to 2007 financial crisis. Same thing. Go up, RSI is all-time high, pull back, go up, RSI is lower than here, go down, go up, the price is all-time high compared to this part, boom, crash, right? So that's financial crisis. Now we are here. Yeah, that's a different one. Now let's look at this one. And this is COVID, but I don't want to talk about this one. I'll just explain this one. This is where we at now. So the RSI is here, go down, RSI go up, pull back, RSI is getting lower, RSI is lower here than here, you see clearly, but price is above all-time high, And what happened after that? Boom, crash. You know what I mean? So that's why I said crash is coming. It's very it's very clear, right? So, but it's very interesting year. It's gonna be very interesting year, and I think it's gonna confuse a lot of people. I have no idea what's gonna happen. All this others, other stocks or whatever. But only thing I could say that is the Bitcoin and in a stock like Nvidia, Tesla is also tracking very similar to this one as well. Tesla is gonna crash too, but not now, but in more like end of the year. So you see how Tesla is also forming a wedge. A bull run cycle happen, and after bull run cycle happen, they create this kind of, I don't know what I call this one, but they go up and down like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. They do one more, and that's where the Tesla is. So Tesla is like somewhere here. So you saw there was like a today even Tesla down like almost like 5%. So we are like here. Tesla is like here. So there's still more like this type of crash to go, right? So that's gonna happen more like end of the year. So, and after that, bull run happen. And I think, and I'm really curious how they're gonna have a bull run. But interestingly, you see the Donald Trump kind of talks about the tariffs in auto industry. So I think that will maybe boost the maybe bull run. I don't know. Like maybe they'll say, oh, we're gonna have a bigger sale or something than expected or something. I don't know. But yeah, they're gonna do whatever they could, to boost the economy or I don't know, create a bull market. But yeah, that's Tesla. So but yeah, it's a big tech stocks. Most of them, especially I think Nvidia is gonna have a very harsh crash. As well as Bitcoin. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. But when you look at AMC and GME, as somebody I track for almost 4 years or 3 years, AMC both like basket stocks are entering the squeeze phase. So I think this year is very interesting year. That's why I said I think when Bed Bath Beyond will come back, I think it will more likely this year. So yeah, I know some people don't like to talk about, hear about BBBY. Some people say, oh, it's dead. I think it's gonna come back, and that will be this year. And I know it's really long process, but it just takes some time. I think the Chapter 11 and this whole thing is just we're just waiting for the final hearing, and it's been pushed back. Since January and Feb. Now we are in April, I think. And once we see the GME run, the March run, and I think you could ask yourself too. But when you ask yourself, okay, like let's say GME run maybe could happen due to the RC move his shares, and then maybe that's kind of trigger of share offering. I'm sorry, the what do you call that, the forced buy-in, right, from the market makers, and when you ask yourself, then how they're gonna run the June squeeze, right? I talk about that, right? I talk about maybe the June or July is when that's when the 2021 January squeeze phase, right? So how they're gonna run GME in June or July, right? Up to this $500 level. And the only question to me is, they can't just run this thing up to 500 with only GME, right? Logically, logical speaking, how they're gonna run this thing up to 500, right? If you're CEO of a company, or let's say if you're somebody in charge of the company, you cannot like even if this is even if there's something, you know, in going on, like in terms of like a short interest or swap, all this kind of stuff, they need an event. Like I said, right? They need an event. What kind of event does GME have, right? And the only thing I think is merger acquisitions, because when you look at this one, there's a bunch of way to you know, force the short seller to cover their short positions. But when you look at this one, this is actually from what's the company name? GNS. Like, this is from a CEO who came on the show, and then he talks about, you know, his company getting a lot of you know, it's been getting shorted or something, you know, short attacks. But anyway, so he brought this thing here, and I captured it, and I because I liked it. So it says naked short battle plan, and when you look at number 6, that's a merger and spin-off, right? So imagine if GameStop and Bye Bye Baby, you know, BBBY, or you can call it DK Butterfly, whatever. If they do a merger, the share sellers have to buy back their shares, right? Either GME or BBBY. And even BBBY is heavily naked shorted. I mean, you know, people might say you're retarded talking about BBBY, right? It's already delisted. Let me show you something. So even BBBY has its own fractals, and interesting enough, it's very everything is very strategic. Okay, the way they play this thing, the market maker. So Bad Bath Beyond has this fractals where they do a double top, and they have a very sharp pullback, or like crash. Not crash. They have a sharp pullback, and then they run, right? So they have this type of fractals they've been repeating for, I think, every 6 months or something, or 3 months, like 140 days or something. I forgot, but yeah, look at this. They do this. They do this here, and there's a reason why that Bad Bath Beyond. So they did this like that, and watch after this phase. It's a squeeze phase. Okay, so they did this after they do a double top, like what happened here, and they did this because they know, I think, what's gonna happen, right? I think even if Bad Bath Beyond didn't get delisted, next step is a squeeze phase anyway. So, but they delisted, right? They delisted the stock because you know, the protection of NOL for 2 years, or also other stuff. But so now when Bad Bath Beyond returns, the next phase will be the squeeze phase. Okay, so like I said, AMC, where's AMC? AMC is entering a squeeze phase in June, right? Earliest June or July, right? And then GME is also entering the same thing, right? So if BBY returns, when do you think BBY is the best time to return, right? What month? It will be June. Okay, I know people don't like to hear this because, oh yeah, we gotta wait for another, you know, fucking 4 months. I mean, we've been waiting for fucking 3 years. Why not 4 months? So yeah, that's everything is very strategic. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, oh my god, I can't even talk about this for so long. I can talk about it for like forever, but yeah. So that's how I look at it, you know. And people will be like, oh, you're fucking crazy, but you know, watch how you play. So I think the only thing that GME could run is this one, number 6, especially in this case. Or they could do a legal action case, but I don't think RCA will do the legal action case. I think this legal action case will most likely happen for DJT, because that's what the CEO of Devon, he been kind of mentioning about the naked shorts and all that stuff, and he might say, oh, we could do some legal action, whatever. So that's number 3, right? So now Kash Patel is the director of FBI. He could announce any time of the Epstein list or whatever. There's a lot of pressures here. So yeah, number 3, right? Number 2, get your investor on your side. That's what Rowan Cutie does. Number 10, nuclear options. Yeah, that's another gamma squeeze. So that's another one. But or there's another number 5, the trackable share purge. I think that might be a NFT dividend or some sort of a digital dividend or something like that. That's how Overstock does there with a T0. And then Beyond now. So the former Overstock, so now it's Beyond. They recently bought the Bye Bye Baby IP. Not the whole thing. I think some people kind of confused about that. They only bought the IP just to use their copyright, just to use their right to to test the Bye Bye Baby as a coin and on their T0 platform, and T0 has been already approved by SEC. So I think there's a reason why they're doing that, for a reason, because they wanna use it as a shareholder perks, and maybe that could be trackable. So that's number 5. So yeah, I think I think Beyond is also in the same play. I think Beyond is also the Overstock had a confidential agreement with the BBBY before I think they entered Chapter 11 too, right, or something. So yeah, it's a big play. It's very hush hush right now. No one knows what's going to happen, but I know the fact that time is coming. And once we see the March rally start to kick in, as how I vision, then you need a catalyst to kick this off in June for final squeeze. And how they're gonna run this thing? Merger acquisitions. That's the only way, I think. Yeah, so we'll see. And I think there's a reason why there's a pullback here, right? Let's say the earning is, the estimate earning is like March 26th, right? Let's say end of March. So let's say they run this thing before the March OPEX, March 21st, and then they want to crash back down, and they have an earning, and then maybe they want to crush it. Like, there's a reason why they run this thing and then crush about almost 40%, right? They might announce something, and then maybe do go for sideway and then kick this off, right? So yeah, let's see next week how this plays out. If I'm correct, then this will most likely will track this fractals here. So yeah, we got only a few months left until we find out if Bad Bath Beyond will come back. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for tuning in. It's really late night. I know there are people, almost fucking 2,000 people are watching. That's crazy, guys. Wow, thank you so much. So yeah, have a good night, guys, and then I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.